Very good evening. You're watching Primetime News on TV1. Bringing you the news, I'm Tharusha Kumar Singha. Up first, your headlines.
Steps have been taken to prevent the new COVID-19 variant entering the country. An assurance from General Shavendra Silva. Voice against corruption reveals corrupt loan transaction in billions.
ඒකනේ මේක තමයි මුදල් අමාත්‍යාංශ පැත්තෙන් එන පණිවිඩය. ඒ පණිවිඩය තමයි මේගොල්ලෝ දැන් මේ ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්න පටන් ගන්න.
Should Sri Lanka hand over the East Container Terminal to the Adani Group?
මේ අන්දානි සමාගම ඇවිල්ලා අපේ වරායට ඇතුළත් වෙලා ඊට පස්සේ අපේ ඉඩම් වලට මොන විදිහට බලපෑම් වෙයිද?
දැන් ජැටියට තාම මොකුත් වෙලා නැහැනේ. දැන් තියෙන්නේ මත පමණයි.
3,000 new homes for middle-income earners. New COVID-19 variant enters India. South Africa triumphs over Sri Lanka in the first test.
Main sponsor.
Now, if you were in Colombo and in its suburbs, you must have experienced heavy rainfall earlier this evening and even now. Azra Azan joins us from the Weather Centre. Azra, what is the situation at present?
Yes, thank you, Tarsha. Rightly mentioned, Colombo and suburbs have been experiencing heavy rainfall during the course of the day today, and especially this evening. And according to our correspondent Tarusha, several roads in Colombo and its suburbs have also been inundated, resulting in heavy traffic congestion in the area. Now, if you take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours, the Met Department said that due to the low level of atmospheric disturbance in the vicinity of Sri Lanka, showers exceeding 100 millimeters can be expected from northern, eastern, north central, central and northwestern provinces, and also in the Badula district. We sent out our reporters to Colombo to find out what the situation is in Colombo. We will now cross over to Disal Kabuge reporting from the Duplication Road in Colombo. Disal?
Right now I'm on the Duplication Road in the Kollupitia area, and as you can see behind me, the road has been flooded due to continuous rainfall for the past few hours. And as you can see behind me, this has given rise to a traffic situation in this area. So we urge the public, whoever who's traveling through this area, to make sure that they take precaution. And we also get reports that several other areas in the Colombo area have been inundated due to continuous rainfall. However, stay tuned to Newsfirst as we bring you the latest weather updates. For the Newsfirst team, I am Disal Kapugate reporting from the Kollupitia area.
Thank you, Disal. That was Disal Kapuge reporting from the Duplication Road in Colombo. And as Disal mentioned, Colombo and its suburbs have been experiencing heavy rainfall, especially in the evening today. And according to our correspondents, several roads have been inundated and resulting in traffic congestion, heavy traffic congestion in these areas, as you can see in the visuals that you all are witnessing right now. This is opposite the Colombo University in Colombo. Roads have been inundated, and according to the correspondents who toured in Colombo and its suburbs, they reported that several roads have been inundated, resulting in traffic congestion. Now, these were the footage that were obtained at around 8 in the evening today. The footage you are witnessing right now is in Breakwood Place, Colombo 2. Footage you are witnessing right now is from Union Place. Our correspondent said that these areas were inundated owing to the heavy rainfall that was experienced in the evening hours today. Footage was obtained around 8 in the evening today. We now have Senator Senanayaka reporting from the Jetavana Road in Colombo 14. Senator, what is happening?
Right now I'm in Jetavana Road in Colombo 14. As you know, Colombo experienced some heavy rainfall several hours ago, and as you can see behind me, the roads, the vehicles travelling in this area have been severely affected by this rain. Several areas in Colombo, the roads in those areas have been inundated because of this rainfall. Now we would like to advise our viewers, be safe, to stay safe and be vigilant while travelling on the road, because this unpredictable weather might get worse. I'm Senator Senanayaka reporting for Newsfirst.
Thank you. That was Senator Senanayaka reporting from Colombo 14. This was the situation today owing to the heavy rainfall that was experienced in Colombo and its suburbs. We will keep you updated on the weather condition of the country. Until then, Tarasha, it's back to you, the main studio.
Thank you so much, Azra. General Shavendra Silva paid homage to the temple of the sacred truth relic today.
Commander of Sri Lanka Army General Shavendra Silva was appointed to the rank of 4-star general by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa yesterday. This morning, General Shavendra Silva met with the Anunayak of the Askari chapter, Venerable Vendaruwe Upalithero.
භෞතික වශයෙන් වගේම ගුණාත්මක වශයෙන් ඉහළ යන්න ඕනේ. හැමදෙනාම රටේ නායකත්වයේ පිළිබඳව බලයිම ඒක වැරදි. මේ රට ගොඩ ගන්නට ඇත්තම වැඩ කරන්න ඕනේ. මේ විදිහට මේ රට සිංගප්පූරුව කරන්න කවදා ලැබෙයිද කියන එක ආකල්පනීය වශයෙන් අමුදාපැතුමනේ විශේෂයෙන් මේ රට සකස් වෙන්න ඕනේ. මොන්ටිසෝරියෙන් ඉඳලා මේක හදන්න ඕනේ. මෙහෙම නැතුව අපේ රට හදා ගන්න බෑ.
General Shavendra Silva then met with the Mahanayak of the Askari chapter, Most Venerable Sri Gnana Ratana Thero. General Shavendra Silva then paid homage to the temple of the sacred truth relic in Kandy. The Diyavadana Nilame of the temple of the sacred truth relic, Nilanga Pradeep Dala, presented a souvenir to General Shavendra Silva. General Shavendra Silva also called on the Anunayak of the Malwatu chapter, Venerable Dimbul Kumbre Vimaladamma Thero.
Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Ganadhattumata Pinnema Stutiya Prakasha Karanawa Sudusata Sudusu Thana Laba Dima Pilibandava.
General Shavendra Silva later spoke to the media.
ලංකාවට සුදුසුම වඩාත්ම සුදුසු හොඳම ඒ වගේම රටේ හිතියාගෙන ලබා දී.
The president yesterday advised us to look for the vaccine that is most suitable for the country. We will act accordingly. We are due to receive donations of that as well. Even if we do not get it as a donation, the president has instructed us to purchase this vaccine at any cost and save the people of this country. A new COVID-19 variant was reported from the United Kingdom. We have taken all measures to ensure that this new variant of the COVID-19 virus does not enter Sri Lanka.
මෙම ප්‍රවේදය ශ්‍රී ලංකාවට ඇතුළු වීම සඳහා වළක්වා ගැනීම සඳහා ගත යුතු සියලුම ක්‍රියාමාර්ග.
Meanwhile, Defence Secretary General Kamal Gunaratne, who was also promoted to the rank of 4-star general, paid homage to the temple of the sacred truth relic today. The Diyavadana Nilame of the temple of the sacred truth relic, Nilanga Pradeep Dala, presented a souvenir to General Kamal Gunaratne.
ලේකම්තුමනි දැන් අපි ඊයේ දැක්ක සැකකරුවෙක් පොලිස් වෙඩිතැබීමකින් මිය යනවා. මේ අනාරක්ෂිතව ගෙනියන නිසා නේද මේ සිදුවීම වෙන්නේ කැබ් රථයක ගෙනයිලා තියෙන්නේ.
මේ යම්කිසි ආරක්ෂාවක් සහිතව තමයි ගෙනියන්නේ.
Suspects are transferred under a certain level of security. The deceased suspect is a dangerous criminal. The suspect had dismembered the body of a man who tipped off the police that he was in possession of 5 kilograms of cannabis. This is how they brutally take revenge from these people to intimidate the general public. The suspect had also amputated the leg of the victim. The law is equal to all. When acting according to the law, incidents like this do take place. This is just one other incident like that.
Main sponsor.
Prisons Commissioner General Tushar Uppuldeniya said that steps will be taken to tighten security at prisons.
With the spread of COVID-19 in the community, prisons are also at risk. We will create a separate team that can be deployed to prisons immediately in the event of a riot. We will be able to overcome many challenges if we do this. We also hope to look into the new weapons that are being used around the world at prisons to control inmates and purchase new weapons that we need. The army is assisting us in installing CCTV at our facilities. We are hoping to use more modern technology as it is difficult for us to do all of this with manpower alone. Prisons Commissioner General Tushar Upuldinia attended an event where dry rations were doled out among officials of the Prisons Department.
Meanwhile, the government has decided to hand over the leadership of the program to find livelihoods for Samurdhi beneficiaries to the Samurdhi managers and Samurdhi development officers.
The future course of action on household economic situation of Samurdhi beneficiaries, self-employment and enterprise development was discussed when the Presidential Task Force on Economic Revival and Poverty Eradication was chaired by Basil Rajapaksa. A decision was reached to select female entrepreneurs at the Grama Seva division level to train them and to empower these women. The government has planned to provide 200,000 self-employment opportunities in the fields of agriculture, animal husbandry, fisheries, renewable energy production and household industries. 25,000 markets are also due to be established to facilitate this program. Attention has also been focused on introducing livelihoods to unemployed youth in rural regions.
In one of your headline-making stories this evening, contracts to construct houses for middle-income earning families were handed over at the Urban Development Authority today.
3,000 houses are scheduled to be constructed under this initiative. The project will be implemented in Colombo, Gampaha and Kandy districts. 4 housing projects will be carried out in the Paliagoda and Urugudavatta areas under 2 phases. The other projects will be implemented in Blumandal, Makumbura, Malambe, Buralasgamur and Kandy. The houses are scheduled to be constructed in 14 months. The agreements were handed over to 9 private contractors by Dr. Nalaka Gudaheva. We are thinking of revamping the construction industry. We are expected to build 30,000 houses for middle-income earners within the next 4 years with the ministry's interference. The ministry will build them with government expenditure. We will also collaborate with the private sector in order to build more houses. We have not yet initiated work on this second part. We are expecting to commence it in the next year.
මෙන්න දැන් ලැබුණු ප්‍රවෘත්තියක්. තමා අමාත්‍ය දුරෙන් ඉල්ලා සූ බවට පැතිර යන ප්‍රවෘත්ති සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම අසත්‍ය බව අධිකරණ අමාත්‍ය ජනාධිපති නීතිඥ අලි සබ්රි මහතා නිවුස් ෆස්ට් වෙත තහවුරු කළා. අලි සබ්රි මහතා මේ බව ප්‍රකාශ කළේ තමා අමාත්‍ය දුරෙන් හා පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රී දුරෙන් ඉල්ලා අසූ බවට විවිධ සමාජ මාධ්‍ය ඔස්සේ පැතිර යන පුවත් සම්බන්ධයෙන් නිවුස් ෆස්ට් වෙත කරුණු පැහැදිලි කරමින් අමාත්‍යවරයා ප්‍රකාශ කළේ එම ප්‍රවෘත්තිය සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම අසත්‍ය බවයි. අස්රා.
Yes, thank you, Randhika. Justice Minister Ali Sabri, President's Counsel Ali Sabri says there is no truth to reports which claim he had resigned from his position. Justice Minister, President's Counsel Ali Sabri made this remark speaking to Newsfirst with regard to the news circulating on social media claiming that he has resigned from his position. The Justice Minister said that there is no truth to these reports. Tanushya?
தற்போது கிடைக்கப்பட்டுள்ள செய்தி ஒன்று, தாம் அமைச்சு பதவியிலிருந்து ராஜினாமா செய்துள்ளதாக வெளியாகும் தகவலில் எவ்வித உண்மைத்தன்மையும் இல்லை என நீதி அமைச்சர் ஜனாதிபதி சட்டத்தரணி அலி ஷப்ரி நியூஸ் ஃபர்ஸ்டுக்கு தெரிவித்தார். நீதி அமைச்சர் அலி ஷப்ரி அமைச்சு பதவியிலிருந்தும் பாராளுமன்ற உறுப்பினர் பதவியிலிருந்தும் ராஜினாமா செய்துள்ளதாக சமூக வலைதளங்களில் வெளியாகியுள்ள தகவல் தொடர்பில் நாம் வினவினோம். இந்த செய்திகளில் எவ்வித உண்மைத்தன்மையும் இல்லை என அவர் நியூஸ் ஃபர்ஸ்டுக்கு தெரிவித்தார்.
මෙන්න යළිත් එම ප්‍රවෘත්තිය. තමා අමාත්‍ය දුරෙන් ඉල්ලා සූ බවට පැතිර යන ප්‍රවෘත්ති සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම අසත්‍ය බව අධිකරණ අමාත්‍ය ජනාධිපති නීතිඥ අලි සබ්රි මහතා නිවුස් ෆස්ට් වෙත තහවුරු කළා. අලි සබ්රි මහතා මේ බව ප්‍රකාශ කළේ තමා අමාත්‍ය දුරෙන් හා පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රී දුරෙන් ඉල්ලා අසූ බවට විවිධ සමාජ මාධ්‍ය ඔස්සේ පැතිර යන පුවත් සම්බන්ධයෙන් නිවුස් ෆස්ට් වෙත කරුණු පැහැදිලි කරමින් අමාත්‍යවරයා ප්‍රකාශ කළේ එම ප්‍රවෘත්තිය සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම අසත්‍ය බවයි.
Taking a look at more news from here at home. Various views were expressed on the appointment of former chairman of Satosa, Nushad Pereira, as the new chairman of the Sri Lanka Standards Institute.
Nushad Pereira කියන පුද්ගලයා දැන් නැවත වතාවක් සතොසෙන් අයින් කරලා හරි අයින් කරලා
Nushad Pereira, regardless of whether he resigned or was removed from Satosa, has been appointed to the Sri Lanka Standards Institute. Satosa brought down substandard salmon. The sugar mafia was also carried out by Satosa. All of them combined to carry out a coconut oil racket. A renowned thief has now been appointed to the Sri Lanka Standards Institute. A person of quality should be appointed to the Sri Lanka Standards Institute. Why is he being appointed to this position? It is so that he can determine what is of satisfactory quality and what is not. Then they can bring in anything and deem them fit. That is why he has been appointed to that position.
ප්‍රමිති ආයතනයටත් මේ වගේ පුද්ගලයෙක් දාන්න කියන එක අපි මේ වෙලාවේ සඳහන් කරනවා.
නුෂාඩ් පෙරේරා මහත්තයාව ඔහුට තිබෙන චෝදනාව ප්‍රධාන චෝදනාවක් තමයි.
One of the major allegations leveled against Nushad Pereira was the issue revolving around sugar, an allegation to the tune of 10 billion rupees. That was highlighted by politicians and various other parties. Now he has been appointed as the new chairman of the Sri Lanka Standards Institute. It was the Sri Lanka Standards Institute that rejected the salmon tins imported by Satosa, citing that it contained arsenic. They decided that the cans were not suitable for consumption. Now he has been appointed as the chairman of that institute. What did Nushad Pereira say when he left his previous position? He said that he was leaving because it is too much work for him. It is this same person who has been appointed to monitor the standards of goods in this entire country. What is this joke?
සමස්ත රටේම ප්‍රමිතිය බලන්න දාලා තියෙනවා. මොකද්ද මේ විහිළුව? බාල සැමන් ගෙනල්ලා විශාල විනාශයක් අපේ රටේ ජනතාවට ආසනික්.
Although Nushad Pereira, who tried to feed poisonous salmon to the people of this country, was removed from his position as the chairman of Satosa, he is still the chairman of Lanka Satosa. However, that is not the significance here. We have heard that Nushad Pereira, who imported salmon to the country with no standards, has now been appointed as the chairman of the Sri Lanka Standards Institute by this government. This is only one piece of evidence that this government is treating its best friends. This is like appointing a fox to guard the chickens. It is the Sri Lanka Standards Institute that will determine the standard of goods that will be imported to Sri Lanka in the future. And Nushad Pereira will be the chairman of that institute.
බඩු බහන්න පිළිබඳව සහතිකයෙකුත් කරන්නේ. ඒකට ඒකේ සභාපතිවරයා හැටියට ඉන්නේ නුෂාඩ් පෙරේරා මහත්තයා. එතකොට මේ බිසී කිව්ව මහත්තයා නැත්තම් මට හුඟක්.
How did the same person who said that he has a busy schedule become the chairman of the Sri Lanka Standards Institute? Won't he have anything to do at the Sri Lanka Standards Institute? Will he only have to sit around and do nothing at the Sri Lanka Standards Institute? It is either the mistake of the Sri Lanka Standards Institute or the mistake of Nushad Pereira.
කියනවා. බොරු කියලා තව කොහෙට හරි යනවා.
In more headline making news this evening, convener of the Voice Against Corruption, Vasantha Samarasinga, convened a media briefing and made a revelation regarding a deal made revolving around the increase of cigarette prices in line with the government's budget.
According to the Voice Against Corruption, this deal has been made with the increase of cigarette prices.
සැප්තැම්බර් මාසේ එනවා ලංකා බැංකුවට.
In September, a request came to the Bank of Ceylon through the Katuwana branch. Where is Katuwana? It is in Mathara. Why does the agent for Anuradhapura go to the south and take a loan? Then this is done involving the Rajapaksas and the letter arrives at the director's board requesting to grant him a loan of 3.2 billion rupees. One director wrote in this letter, if the cigarettes are retained with the company, the profit after the increase of prices through the budget will then go to the national treasury. If the cigarettes are released to the businessmen, now only the directors and the chairman of the Bank of Ceylon know of this, which means they've received this message through the Ministry of Finance. They're now acting on this message they received. They approved this loan of 3.2 billion rupees to purchase cigarettes for that worth. On the 20th of November, he receives a loan of 2.1 billion rupees. By today, he has reduced his loan amount to 750 million rupees. This loan has been given for an interest of 6.83%. Then he is given a loan of 2.1 billion and he buys cigarettes with it, which means the loan is granted for stock preservations, which means if something like cigarettes are preserved, this will reach a level of earnings to the tune of Arjun Aloysius, using the funds of the central bank and earning money from the bond. These are friends of the Rajapaksas. This is a ploy to use the money of the central bank and earn through the trade of cigarettes. If the prices of cigarettes increase, where does this money go? It goes to their pockets. But like that director said, when the prices go up, if this money is retained, that money will go into the treasury, to the hands of the people. But this is what the Rajapaksas are distributing to their friends.
හැබැයි ඒක තමයි රාජපක්ෂවල තමන්ගේ හිතවතුන්ට මේ බෙදලා දෙන්නේ.
The discourse on the attempts to hand over the East Container Terminal of the Colombo port to the Adani Group in India continues to broaden each day. Operations at the terminal commenced on the 27th of October following sustained pressure from port trade unions on the authorities. However, a cabinet memorandum presented by Subject Minister Rohita Begunawardene on the 22nd of October notes the Sri Lanka Ports Authority does not possess the necessary funds to manage operations of the terminal. The minister has therefore highlighted the need of transferring the managing of operations to the Adani Group of companies in India. On the contrary, port trade unions continue to point out that the Sri Lanka Ports Authority is capable of handling the operations of the ECT sans foreign investment. We now draw your attention to a number of opinions expressed regarding the matter on the political stage.
විකුණපු දේවල් ජනසතු කරනවා කියලා ආපු ආණ්ඩුව ඇවිල්ලා ඉතාමත් කෙටි කාලයක් තුල Shangri-La.
The government which came into power claiming it would vest national assets with the people first sold off the 3-acre land next to Shangri-La. A cabinet decision has already been taken to hand over the ECT to an Indian company. It was taken 3 weeks ago. What is the reason behind selling it? What does this government hope to achieve by selling off national assets while breaking the promises they made to the people?
මර්මස්ථාන විකුණලා බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන මොකක්ද කියන එක තමයි අපි රජයෙන් අහන්න තියෙන්නේ. අපිට තියෙන ජාතික සම්පත් විකුණා දැමීම නෙවෙයි. දැනටමත් අපේ වරායේ නැගෙනහිර ජැටියේ
They are attempting to sell off 49% of shares of the ECT to an Indian firm. That is a crime. Can this be sustained? Urban lands are being taken over to be sold. The country is heading towards anarchy because we have been downgraded by various rating agencies and other issues.
සහ අපේ ජාත්‍යන්තර ණයවර ලිපි LC බාර නොගැනීම කියන තත්ත්වය මත රට බංකොලොත් තත්ත්වයකට පත් වෙලා තිබෙනවා.
MCC ගිවිසුම හරහා අපේ රටේ ඉඩම් වලට බලපෑමක් කරනවා.
They claim the MCC was an attempt to take over Sri Lankan lands. However, handing over the ECT to an Indian firm bears a similar risk.
උන්චි රටකට මේ අන්දානි සමාගම ඇවිල්ලා අපේ වරායට ඇතුළත් වෙලා ඊට පස්සේ අපේ ඉඩම් වලට මොන විදිහට බලපෑම් වෙයිද?
Meanwhile, journalists posed questions from the State Minister of Urban Development Nalaka Godahewa regarding this matter. Nothing has happened to the jetty as of yet. It is only chatter. I do not believe the government will hand over more than 50% of an asset to any foreign entity. If an asset is under the control of the government, when a foreign entity invests in it, there is no risk.
As the farmers' protest against the 3 farm bills entered the 34th day, the farmers are adamant and repealing the new agricultural laws that allow powerful businesses like the Adani Group to exploit their agricultural production. Punjab Chief Minister said that 156 mobile towers have been impacted in the state during the farmers' stir against the agri-laws and directed the police to take strict action against vandalization and disruption of telecom services, asserting that he will not let Punjab plunge into anarchy at any cost and nobody can be allowed to take the law into their hands. The Chief Minister said he had been forced to toughen his stance as his repeated appeals to perpetrators of such acts had been ignored. The protesting farmers' unions yesterday agreed in principle to a government proposal of holding the 7th round of talks in Delhi tomorrow. So far, several rounds of formal talks between the centre and 40 protesting farmers' organizations have been inconclusive. The farmers' union said that they are hopeful for a favourable conclusion tomorrow. Meanwhile, the number of farmers who lost their lives as a result of the ongoing protest stands at 41.
Not only the farmers in India, farmers in our country also suffer owing to various reasons. The Sena caterpillar menace is one of many plights they face. However, in a ray of hope, a farmer in Dehiyattakandiya have managed to curb the Sena caterpillar menace by using a mixture of 2 pesticides.
The corn cultivation of HD Sugadadasa, who lives in Bihirisorowa, Dehiyattakandiya, was engulfed by the Sena caterpillar. However, Sugadadasa refused to accept defeat as he tried out various methods to eradicate the Sena caterpillar menace. As a result, he became successful in curbing the disease with the help of a new pesticide that he created by mixing two pesticides.
මාසයකට වැඩි මේ බෙහෙත ගහලා මේ පැලවලට දැන් මල් පිපිලා තියෙනවා මල් පිපින අවස්ථාව වෙනකන් තාම නම් ආවේ නැහැ.
According to our correspondent, other cultivations just 100 meters away from this plot of land has been damaged by the Sena caterpillar. This was the second time that I sprayed this pesticide. I used this the first time when we encountered this problem too, and it worked. If you use this on your kurakang and corn cultivations, you will be free from this pest. I used this when I saw the infection in 2-3 leaves in my land. It has been a month and I did not see any infestations.
What you just witnessed was the protest against a person who occupied a government-owned land in Sengamo, Potuville, claiming to have a political backing. However, this person, who claimed to have the support from a political entity, was not allowed to do this. Let's take a look.
150 families affected by the tsunami disaster were resettled in the Tsunamigama village. Today, about 15 new families of a new generation live here without any ownership over their lands. Against such a backdrop, a person claiming to be the owner of a piece of government-owned land in this village had taken the initiative to begin construction on the plot of land yesterday. Our correspondent, who had arrived at the location, met with the relevant individual.
ඔයාගේ ඉඩම දැන් මේක රජය කියලා කියනවනේ නෑ රජය ඉඩම නෑ ඔයාට මොකක්ද තියෙන බලපත්‍රයක් තියෙනවද ඔව් බලපත්‍රය තියෙනවා ගන්නකෝ බලන්න දැන් එතන තියෙනවා ඉතින් අකරය තියෙනවා කියලා මේ ඒජ් ඔෆිස් එකෙන් කියලා තියෙනවා ඒක කාටවත් වෙන් කරලා නෑ මේ රජය කැල්ලක් මේ කාටවත් ඉඩන්නේ මේ කාටවත් ඉලා හරියට වෙලා කියනකට ඒක පොච්චිල කියලා දෙකක් තියෙනවා ඒක ඒවට කතා කොන්දිලා තියෙනවා ගෙවල් බලපත්‍ර කොහමද සර් ආව ඉක්මනේ දැන් අපි ආයිලා අවුරුදු 8යි අපිට තා මොනවනේ මෙයාට බයිපාසෙන් ඉඩම් අල්ලන්න මෙන්න මෙයාගේ මනසට ගහලා කකුල කැඩි එදා රාත්‍රී මෙන්න මේක ගහන්න ගිහින් සුනාමියට පස්සේ මේ ගෙවල් අවසර එක ගේකටම බලපත්‍රයක් නැහැ ඒතර මෙයාට විතරක් මේ ඉඩමට බලපත්‍ර ඉතින් අපිට දෙන්න පුළුවන් නේ සර් අපිත් වැඩ දැම්මා සර් පෙරේද දැම්මට පස්සේ GS අයිලා පෙරේද දෙකයි පොඩ ගැලෙව්වා දෙන්න බෑ මේක රජයේ ඉඩම කියලා.
Potuville Assistant Divisional Secretary Y. Rasit visited the location and inquired into the issue. However, the relevant person could not produce the relevant documents. The Assistant Divisional Secretary ordered the removal of the relevant construction and instructed him to submit any documents to declare the ownership of the land to the Divisional Secretariat tomorrow. Accordingly, measures were taken to remove the illegal construction.
Drawing your attention towards the COVID-19 situation in the country, with the discovery of 3 more COVID-19 deaths yesterday and 1 more today, the total number of COVID-19 deaths in the country rose to 195. The total number of COVID-19 cases in the island is at 41,603. 8,188 patients are currently receiving treatment in hospitals under medical supervision. A total number of 33,925 patients have recovered from the virus. Meanwhile, the government established many facilities to treat COVID-19 patients. The contribution made by 4 Ayurvedic hospitals that are being used as COVID-19 treatment centers is invaluable.
The Ayurvedic treatment method paves the way for a person to develop their body and mind so that they would not fall victim to various diseases. Currently, there is a rejuvenation of Ayurvedic medicine as it has gained much traction among foreign tourists. The Ayurvedic medical science is ready to face the COVID-19 vaccine that has affected the entire world.
දැනට මුළු දිවයිනම අවදානම් තත්ත්වයක පසුවන මොහොතක රජයේ ආයුර්වේද වෛද්‍ය නිලධාරීන් විදියට අපේ මැදිහත් වීමෙන්
At a time when the entire country is at risk, we as the Government Ayurvedic Doctors Association have begun treating COVID-19 patients. We are providing treatment to patients at the Pallikale Hospital in the Central Province and at the Hambantota Hospital. Also, we are treating patients at 6 facilities in the Sabaragamuwa province. We directly intervened to treat the patients from the prisons cluster. We treated them day and night at the Navinna and Buralla Ayurvedic hospitals. Our doctors and public health officials have assisted officials in areas that have been placed under lockdown. We have also taken steps to contact people who have been placed under quarantine and ensure that their mental health is maintained. We have provided them with advice.
ඉතින් අපිට තියෙන්නේ මේ වගකීම මහජනතාවගේ වගකීම හරියට අවබෝධ කරගෙන ඒ වගකීම ඉෂ්ට කරන්න කියලා මම ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා.
Dhammika Bandara from Kegol today expressed the following views about the indigenous tonic that was produced to combat COVID-19.
මේ මුළු ලෝකෙම හොයාගන්න බැරිුණු බේතක් තමයි මම හොයාගත්තේ. ඒක මට පළවෙනි ගෞරවය තියෙන්නේ ශ්‍රී වීරමහා භද්‍රකාලි මෑණියන්ට. මෑණියෝ තමයි මේ
I discovered this medicine that no one else in the world could have found. I must first give credit to Mother Kali. It was she who gave me this medicine. I have given this tonic to VIPs in the island, their children, state sector employees, state institutions, the armed forces and various other people, and I have treated them well. I respectfully request officials and those who conducted the trials on this tonic and also the media to investigate this matter properly, know all the details. There is a lot of criticism against this. Criticize this but don't disrespect the medicine. There are people who consume this tonic and are very healthy now. I got approval to produce this medicine and distribute it. I might be a carpenter, a laborer or a man who sweeps the streets, but the medicine that I discovered was given to me by divine grace. We conducted scientific experiments on this medicine that was given to me by divine grace. This has the complete details about this tonic. This test was conducted by the Jayawardhanapura University. We won't release this to the media because they said don't release it until the government conducts their trial. We have a government in our country. We have a law. Obtain an order from courts and stop insulting me in this manner.
On the same note, State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana expressed his views on the discourse which has emerged in the country over the indigenous tonic, attending a program in Anuradhapura today.
The issue that has arisen here is the result of complications faced when conducting clinical trials through Western medical methods on a medicine which is of indigenous origin. Such a trial has not been conducted in Sri Lanka before. Therefore, a novel method needs to be introduced to ascertain how the medicine would be tested. Usually, animal testing and other scientific trials are conducted before pharmaceuticals are approved for human use. However, the expert committee had to introduce a new method to test this medicine in keeping with the guidelines issued by the World Health Organization with regards to testing indigenous medicine. However, we were tasked with the responsibility of asserting whether this medicine would counter COVID-19, and we were asked to do so using processes used in Western medicine. So far, we have progressed well.
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa attended another event organized under the opposition mobile campaign today.
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa is touring various areas of the country and inquiring into the problems under the opposition leader mobile campaign. Another phase of this program was held in Mailagama, Sella Kataragama.
ප්‍රධානතම ප්‍රශ්නේ තමයි COVID ප්‍රශ්නේ. ලෝකයේ අනිත් රටවල් වල රජයේ සල්ලි වලින්
The main issue is the COVID-19 pandemic. In other countries, the governments are purchasing the vaccine and are distributing it among the people. What is the program of our government? There is no such program. COVID-19 has brought down the economy of the entire country, but there is no program to rebuild the economy. But very tactically, this government is using various scenarios to create many stories. One such creation is the tonic that has no standard and has not been tested. This government has brought forward some tonic and is disgracing the Ayurvedic medical science in the country. Some members of the government consume this tonic to show the people that this is the solution. Why was it done? The government has no ability to provide the vaccines.
ඒ කරන මැති ඇමතිවරුනුත් ඒ පැණිය බීලා රටට පෙන්වන්න හදනවා මේක තමයි විසඳුම කියලා. ඒ කරන්නේ මොකද? රජයට හැකියාවක් නැහැ. එන්නත පිළිවෙතව විසඳුමක් ලබා.
In one of your top stories for today, India has become the latest country to confirm cases of the new coronavirus variant that was first identified in the UK. 3 new variants of COVID-19 have been detected in recent weeks, leading to increased vigilance across the world.
6 cases of the more contagious variant of COVID-19 first identified in the UK have been confirmed in India. The 6 individuals who returned from the UK are being kept in isolation. Officials in India have become contact tracing close contacts and family members of the 6 who have tested positive for the new variant. With more than 10 million confirmed cases so far, India has the second highest caseload in the world after the US. A new variant was first reported in the United Kingdom on the 14th of December, referred to by some experts as the B117 lineage. Last week, South Africa reported another new strain, which appears to have mutated further than the UK variant, known as 501.V2. On the 24th of December, the head of Africa's disease control body said another COVID-19 strain, known as the P681H, was identified in Nigeria. It is of a separate lineage from the other mutations, but does not seem to be spreading as fast as the other 2 new variants. This new variant has so far spread to Australia, Denmark, Canada, France, Italy, Japan, Jordan, Lebanon, the Netherlands, Singapore, Spain, South Korea, Sweden, India and Pakistan.
What are the reasons for this virus to spread more rapidly?
The new COVID-19 variant is rapidly replacing other versions of the virus. It has mutations that affect part of the virus likely to be important. Some of those mutations have already been shown in the lab to increase the ability of the virus to infect cells. However, we do not have absolute certainty. New strains can become more common simply by being in the right place at the right time, such as London, which had only Tier 2 restrictions until recently. Experts say the leading vaccines developed in recent months should still work.
What do we know about the new mutations?
There have been changes to the spike protein. This is the key the virus uses to unlock the doorway to our body cells. One mutation called N501Y alters the most important part of the spike, known as the receptor binding domain. This is where the spike makes first contact with the surface of our body cells. Any changes that make it easier for the virus to get inside are likely to give it an edge.
On the 8th of December, the United Kingdom became the first country across the world to start administering its citizens with the fully tested Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine. On the 14th of December, the first jabs of COVID-19 vaccines were administered to residents of Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. On the same day, the United States and Canada also rolled out its mass vaccination programs. On the 17th of December, Saudi Arabia began its vaccination campaign with the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. On the 19th of December, Israeli Prime Minister received the first COVID-19 vaccine jab in the country, kicking off a national rollout. On the 22nd of December, Qatar launched a free Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccination campaign. On the 23rd of December, Switzerland started its COVID-19 vaccine rollout. On the 24th of December, Mexico, Chile, Serbia and Kuwait started its mass vaccination programs. On the 26th of December, Hungary, Germany and Slovakia started vaccinating healthcare workers. On the 27th of December, the EU began a coordinated COVID-19 vaccine rollout in all 27 member states. Meanwhile, Oman also began rolling out its vaccination program on the same day. On the 28th of December, people in Belgium received the first COVID-19 vaccine developed by BioNTech. The Russian government said it has been inoculating its citizens since September with the Sputnik V vaccine. Icelandic health authorities officially began administering the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine this morning. A number of countries have already announced dates on which the COVID-19 vaccine programs will be rolled out. Indonesian health minister said today that the country is poised to secure the COVID-19 vaccine from Pfizer and AstraZeneca as it awaits authorization to begin its inoculation program with a third drug by China's Sinovac. Singapore's COVID-19 vaccination exercise will begin tomorrow with healthcare workers at the National Centre for Infectious Diseases, followed by the elderly aged 70 and above next February. The COVID-19 vaccines are expected to arrive in the Maldives in early January 2021. The Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine is expected to be available in Bangladesh By January 2021, India began a 2-day dry run for the COVID-19 vaccination in 4 states across the country. On Monday, in preparation for a full rollout that is expected to begin in January 2021. Argentina is the first foreign country apart from Belarus to approve Sputnik 5 vaccine and began its rollout today. Iran is due to start testing a domestically produced COVID-19 vaccine on human subjects as the country continues to face difficulties in importing sufficient quantities of vaccines due to US sanctions. Pakistan is in contact with 6 international COVID-19 vaccine producing companies for procurement of the vaccine. The companies include 2 from China and 1 each from Russia and the United Kingdom. Japan is yet to approve the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine by February 2021. Once Pfizer's vaccine is approved, Japan will be ready to roll out by the end of March.
We're crossing over to a short commercial break. Stay with News First. We will be right back.
Legends 966 this season. A collection of the most memorable songs, Christmas hits and family favorites 24/7. Tune in now.
Welcome back to the news. Samagi Jana Balawega MP Mithias Bakir Makar expressed views regarding religious reconciliation in Beruwala today.
A ceremony was held at Masjid Al-Abral in Maradana Beruwala to mark its anniversary.
Our exemplary reconciliation had its black mark in 1915. It was because of foreign invaders. The second black mark was the April 21st attacks. I remember how 15 ambassadors and representatives from the organization of systematic countries came and met the Cardinal. What the Cardinal said then was that he will not look at this from the surface. He said a few Muslims were used in this and that we know of international politics and that the force behind this should be of concern. He further said that this should be analyzed deeply and we should peek behind the curtains. What His Eminence told us is important. We cannot consider both of these incidents separately. We need to think of it considering the global politics. We only have these 2 black marks. We wonder how they came to be. Our people were used as weapons by international agendas and by the global race of power. Some superpowers try to create problems. Those who sell weapons need chaos. They need wars. They try to provoke wars. We need to be careful. Islam has made it necessary for us to respect others' beliefs. It's our guidance. We need to give that example to the rest of the world. We need to give it to the society.
According to the Asian Development Bank, the overall forecast for developing Asia is a contraction of 0.4% in 2020. According to the ADB forecast, growth will rebound to 6.8% in 2021, but output will remain below what was envisioned before the pandemic.
Developing Asia's GDP is expected to contract by 0.4% in 2020. In addition, data from the Asian Development Bank suggest that by 2050, climate change could reduce economic growth in South Asia by 1.8% per year. The decline in economic growth could reach an average of 8.8% per year by 2100. By 2050, Sri Lanka is expected to experience a drop in gross domestic product growth of 1.2%. Countries like Nepal, Bangladesh, India and Bhutan are expected to experience a drop of 2.2%, 2%, 1.8% and 1.4% respectively. Among all the countries in South Asia, Maldives is projected to record the highest loss in GDP by 2050.
Parliamentarian Kumaravelgam expressed these views regarding the privatization of ports in Sri Lanka.
Served as the head of the Immigration and Emigration Department.
Taking a look at that news item once again, Parliamentarian Kumaravelgam expressed these views regarding the privatization of ports in Sri Lanka.
අපිට ඉන්දියාවේ අදානි කියන සමාගම මේකට සම්බන්ධ කරගන්න ඕන. මට මතකයි මම අපි මේ හම්බන්තොට වරාය.
Why do we need to get the Indian Adani company involved in this? I remember when we were privatizing the Hambantota port, when the government of good governance was selling this to the Chinese, we staged a protest there. Minister Namal, other ministers in the current government, and even the current Minister of Ports and Shipping, Rohita Abegunawardena, also protested with us. We staged a big protest and said, "Don't touch this port. If you do, when we come into power, we will take this back." We were attacked with water cannons and tear gas. The current Minister of Ports and myself went and hid in the same place when we were attacked. We hid in a toilet where tear gas was fired at us. Why have you forgotten the past? Think about this country and not about your ministerial portfolio. The port employees are continuing to say that we can earn billions from this container terminal. Why are you giving this to the Adani Group? Why are you not listening to them? The Adani Group has failed across the world.
විශාල මුදලක් ඩොලර් බිලියන ගණන් හම්බ කරන්න පුළුවන් එක. ඇයි මේ අදානි සමාගමට දෙන්නේ කියලා? ඇයි ඒකට අහුම්කම් දෙන්නේ නැත්තේ? අනිත් එක දැන් අදා
We sincerely apologize for that technical glitch. Moving on with the bulletin. Politicians have bid farewell to state official Chulananda Pereira, who voluntarily retired 2 years ahead of completing his government service.
Pereira served as the head of the Immigration and Emigration Department, Director General of Customs and the Secretary to the Ministries of Telecommunication and Sports and Industries during his tenure. Putting aside their differences, politicians from both the current and former government reportedly attended Pereira's farewell event, which was held recently.
Sri Lanka Prosperity Index recorded 0.802 in 2019 with marginal declines of economy and business climate and socio-economic infrastructure sub-indices. Sri Lanka Prosperity Index in 2018 stood at 0.811.
According to the central bank, the well-being of the people sub-index has improved this year. Spillover effects of the April 21st attacks on tourism and related industries, resulting in an increase in unemployment and relatively high inflation due to adverse weather conditions towards the latter part of 2019, were the key reasons for the decline in economy and business climate sub-index. Reduced usage of public transportation due to concerns on security, aftermath of the April 21st attacks, mainly resulted in the decline in socio-economic infrastructure sub-index. Improvements in the aspects of quality of education, health facilitation and wealth of people were the major contributors to the increase in well-being of the people sub-index. Western Province led the highest value of Provincial Prosperity Index, while Southern and Central Provinces were ranked at 2nd and 3rd respectively. In comparison to the previous year, North Central Province recorded the highest increase in Provincial Prosperity Index, followed by the Eastern and Western Provinces.
On the 3rd of December, renowned Indian actor Rajinikanth announced that he has decided to launch his party and contest the Tamil Nadu election. However, he has decided to reverse his decision, citing health concerns.
Rajinikanth was admitted to hospital over the weekend with blood pressure fluctuations. In a statement issued by him after being discharged from hospital, he said, quote, "With extreme sadness, I say that I can't enter politics. I alone know the pain I went through while announcing this decision," unquote. The statement further read, quote, "Without entering electoral politics, I will serve the people. This decision of mine will disappoint my fans and people, but please forgive me," unquote. The 70-year-old's debut in politics has been anticipated by fans for nearly 25 years, but despite weighing in on various subjects, he had not taken the plunge.
South Africa triumphed over Sri Lanka in the first of the two-match test series, winning the encounter by an inning and 45 runs today. Sri Lanka's injury list was a factor of concern ahead of the second test on the 3rd of January after 5 players sustained injuries during the course of the first test match. With advising our viewers to be vigilant and carry an umbrella if you are stepping out, this is a wrap of Primetime News for today. I'm Tarushi Kumar Singh, along with our sign language interpreter for today, Brandy Cruz. Good night.